Welcome to Excel Power Query class. This is week 4 in data analysis scholarship. We are to look at mastering Power Query in Excel, how you can automate your task, combine data, clean data, transform data in seconds. Welcome. My name is Franklin. Welcome to Data Analysis Scholarship course. Welcome once again to Data Analysis Scholarship course. My name is Franklin. Today we will be looking at Excel Power Query. We are going to be looking at Power Query in the aspect of data cleaning, transformation, and automation. Welcome once again. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. Much appreciated. We are live once again for tonight's section. My name is Frank. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. Let me know if you can hear me, if you can see my screen, and if you can hear me, and you are part of the scholarship group, let's head over to the scholarship group and let everyone know that we are live. Let everyone know that we are live. If you are in the scholarship group, let's head over to the scholarship group and let everyone know we are live. If you are part of the scholarship, head over to the scholarship group. Let everyone know we are live. Tag everyone in the group. Tag everyone in that WhatsApp group. Tag everyone and let them know we are live. Tag everyone in the scholarship group. Tag as many as possible and let them know right away that we are live for tonight's section. Let's quickly do that. Much appreciated. Let's quickly do that. We are live and we are live. All right, let me know once you have done that. Also share this live section to as many as possible. Invite as many as possible. Is it from your end or from my end? Let me know. Can someone else confirm? Can someone else confirm? Can someone else confirm my audibility? Can someone else confirm my audibility tonight? Welcome. Can someone confirm my audibility? I want to move. I want to go in tonight's section. There are certain things we need to do. All right, let's quickly delve into what we have. let's quickly delve into what we have tonight. Let's quickly dive into what we have. Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you. Okay, now let's quickly get into business. This is Microsoft Excel. We are in Microsoft Excel. Tonight we will be looking at data cleaning using the Power Query Editor. Data cleaning using Power Query Editor. How we can clean our data with ease. How we can clean our data with ease using the Power Query Editor, and also automate data cleaning task. You work with organizations and you clean data, you receive data over and over again, the same kind of data, you receive it over and over again, and you also go through the same process of data cleaning. Every time you receive data, you first clean it before you analyze. That is something that we need to automate so that we don't repeat such task over and over again. So in data analysis, one of the things you must know or do as an analyst is the ability to clean your data, get your data ready for analysis. And Power Query is a data cleaning and transformation engine built into Excel and Power BI. Built into Excel and Power BI. So if you are learning Power Query now, the same Power Query in Excel is the same Power Query in Power BI. There is no difference. There is no difference between the Power Query in Excel and Power Query in data in Power BI. So tonight we are going to look at how we can clean data and at the same time transform data and automate it. And then look at certain functionalities in the Power Query window in the Power Query editor. Let me know what you can see right there on your screen. Let me know what you can see right there on your screen. Also, if you are just joining, I will also encourage you to hit the like button of this section. Also, share the live link to as many as you can. Like the section, that will help to make the channel healthy so that the channel will not undergo certain harm on the YouTube algorithm, so as we can continue to be using it for future trainings and uploads. So kindly go ahead and hit the like button on this live section. If you are joining us, go ahead and hit the like button. Okay, now to go ahead in doing this, I'm going to minimize this. Okay, there is something we should have done. Okay, let's in the next section I will complete that. That's Excel data entry automation. I will complete that, I think, on Thursday. I will complete that before we proceed. Now, we are going to look at certain data sets. Now, let me open this. Let me open this folder. Now, within this folder, let's take, for example, in this folder, we have sales report, sales 2020, 2021. This is our sales report of 2020. This is our sales report of 2021. And we want to do analysis. We want to conduct analysis on this data set we have, and then use it to make certain decisions. Use it to make certain decisions. Hence, how do we clean this data? Do we open this one and clean it individually? If I double click on this, it will open, and then we go through the using the test function to clean it, and then use XLOOKUP to bring the two tables to bring the two data sets together and all that. That alone will take us time. Now this is the data set we have, the customer ID, customer name, product name, stuff like that and that. And here we see we have some spaces. And even in this, for example, I might decide to, okay, this one, let me put this on top, hit enter, stuff like this. Let me put this on top, hit enter. Let's say when you receive this data, sometimes you have data in this format. Sometimes you have data in this format, as you can see, all these ones like this. Sometimes you have data in this format. So when you have them, these are numbers, these ones are tests and stuff like that. You see missing values and what have you here. Let's say this date now, let's say let me put it in this direction and put another date format for it. I'm just trying to make it look a bit different. Let me say I put this and say okay. Now make it look a bit different. This one is not the one I want. Okay, this one, and say okay. Now is in this format, and what have you. How are we going to work on this data set? Someone is saying my voice is low. Someone is saying my voice is low. Can we confirm? Daniel is saying my voice is low. Can we confirm? Can someone else confirm? So that this is a data set, sales report 2020. Can someone else confirm my audibility? Can someone else confirm my audibility, please? Can we confirm my audibility, please? I need someone else to confirm my audibility. I need to proceed. Can someone confirm my audibility? Okay, can we? If we go through it, we can see some inconsistencies within this data set. We can see this number here, this number here, this. We can see some inconsistencies within our data set. We can see some missing name here and all that. And us, hence, in running analysis, we don't run analysis on empty cells, empty columns, and rows. So we need to ensure we get these cells or this analysis into shape in order to run analysis on it. And to do that, we have to load these data sets into Microsoft Power BI, and then Microsoft Power Query rather, not Power BI. Load this data set into Microsoft Power Query, and then do some data cleaning and transformation and load it back to Excel. So to do that, I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this. Let me save it. I'm going to close it. And we have this data set, this Excel sheet, Here we have two Excel workbook. Here we have two Excel workbook, sales 2020, sales 2021. Please go with me as we go through this data cleaning process. We are going to clean that data set and load it back to Excel and use it for analysis. Okay, now to do that, to get Power Query, if you are using Office 2016 and above, you go to data. Under data, you will see this, get and transform data. You will see queries and connection. But if you are using, I think if you are using 2013 below, you need to install some add-ins. You need to install some Excel add-ins in order to have access to Power Query. All right. Now, the next thing we are going to do, we go to get data. Get data in Power Query, to use Power Query and to use Power Query in order to clean our data and to transform our data. That is what we do. And let me explain again, due to the aspect when we say the network is fluctuating, I think the network is stable now. Excel Power Query is an inbuilt feature in Excel and Power BI for data cleaning and transformation. Power Query is a data cleaning and transformation engine. It's a data cleaning and transformation tool built in Excel and Power BI for effective data cleaning and transformation, and also for automating repetitive tasks. For example, please let me know if you can hear me. Please let me know if you can hear me, if you can see my screen. Network is messing me up. All right. Okay. Now, for us to proceed, like I was saying earlier, Power Query is a data cleaning and transformation tool. It's a data cleaning and transformation tool that we use to transform our data, clean our data, and get it ready for analysis. If we don't want to use Power Query and we want to clean our data manually, it's going to take us a huge lot of time. And also, sometimes we might make some mistakes. So to get straight to what we want to do, we go to get data. However, if your data is within this spreadsheet, you can use from table/range. We are going to look at that also. However, we go to get data. Now, when you click on get data, you see this drop down menu. From file, you will see get data from file. You will see from Excel workbook, you will see from CSV file, XML file, JSON, PDF folder. Now, for the session this night, our two files, our two Excel workbook we are looking for is in a folder. We saved it in a folder, and that is what we can refer to as best practice. When you are working with a data set and that data, you receive data repeatedly, maybe at the end of the month, the sales department send you the sales data report for the month. You clean it, analyze it, visualize it. Next month, they send the same format of data, the different entry, but the data follows the same format but different entry. Instead of going over to clean it again, do the analysis again and update, you just have to automate it. And one of the ways to automate it is to ensure that your data is in a folder. Ensure that your data is in a folder. You can call it sales report. The name of the folder is sales report, any name you choose. So here I'm going to select from folder. Now, once I click from folder, it will open up to me a dialog box, this. Now, where did I save that folder? It's on my desktop. So I click on desktop here. On this, I search for that folder. And that's the folder is sales report. I click on it and then click on open. Is going to open up a panel or a dialog box for me. It's going to open up a panel or a dialog box for me. We are waiting for that to happen. We are waiting for that to happen. And as we progress, please let me know once you stop hearing me and having a challenge on the system so that I will know where you stop hearing me and then go back to explain further. We are getting the today's in week 4. By next week and upper week, we will begin to do some restore, some analysis, some visualization, capstone projects, and the likes. I don't know why it's taking time. It shouldn't take this long. It shouldn't take this long. I don't know why it's taking this long. It shouldn't take this long. If you are following me, your own would have loaded by now. If you are following me, your own would have loaded. I don't know why that's happened. It shouldn't take that long. So once you go to get data, open the folder, get access to the folder, you say open, it will bring you to this place. And here we show you the path to which you are following this, the C part, the computer, user, HP, is on from HP desktop. On desktop, the name of the folder is sales report. So this is the part. When you look at it, that's sales 2020, sales 2021 is showing you that it's an Excel file. That's the Z extension. It's showing you that it's an Excel file. This is also showing you the same part. Both 2020, 2021 is the same part they have. So having established that, what we will do is to come to this place. Now here I'm going to be explaining things here. This says combine and transform. Now combine and transform means combine 2020 and 2021 together and then transform. Transform means to clean or to do some data transformation and cleaning. And here combine and load, I want to combine the two and load them straight. I want to combine the two. What that means is to combine the two and load straight into Excel. That's the aspect of combine and load, or load to a data model. This is to transform. But when we are talking about transform here, you are looking at, maybe you want to transform only this, or you want to transform only this. Hence, since we are using multiple sheets, that's 2020, 2021, that we are going to make use of combine and transform. But if it's a single sheet, a single workbook, a single data, you most likely will not see combine. What you most likely will see is load and transform, and then cancel. If you are cleaning just if you are cleaning just a worksheet, a workbook, one, you don't have two or more workbook you want to combine together, you most likely will not see this. What you will see is load and then transform. So here we are going to go straight to combine and transform. We click on it. Combine and transform. It will begin to load the Power Query editor window. All right. Now, once it loads to this, you can see what we have here, combine files. You see, select the object to be extracted from each file. Here, if you click the drop down, you will see 2020 and 2021, and then first file by default is 2020. So we will leave it based on the first file. Now, both my file 2020 and 2021 has a sheet called sales report. Both of them has a sheet called sales report. So with that, if I click on this, it will give me a preview of my data for me to be sure that this is the data that I want to load into Power Query. So when I look at it, yes, this is the data set. It will show me a preview, though not all the data sets I have, but a preview of my data. As you can see, it said the data in preview has been truncated due to size limit. So it's not going to show you how to load in Power Query, but to show you what the preview looks like. That's what you have. When you look at it, your column headers are correct, and then that is on that we say OK. So once we click OK, automatically it starts processing the queries. I'm going to show us something, because if I didn't teach you that, you might most likely have a challenge, and then you will be like, what is happening? It's loading. This is Power Query editor. It's still loading. All right. Now it has loaded. This is what we refer to as Power Query editor. As you can see it here, the name of the workbooks is sales report. We have the name of this says Power Query editor. Here we can expand this in Power Query editor as it is with all Office application. It has the tabs, the home tab, the transform, add column and view. Here are ribbons. Has the ribbons for home tab, like we have talked about, the ribbon for transform tab, the ribbon for add column, the ribbon for view. So these are this for the home ribbon, this is for the transform ribbon. Here shows us the queries we loaded. The query we loaded we have it as the sales report. Then this place is the preview of the query we loaded. Now, if you load queries that have data over 1,000 rows, Power Query Editor will display the first 1,000 rows, as we can see down here. It's a column profiling based on top 1,000 rows, as we can see here. So Power Query will display based on what we can use or what macro is. Excel macros. You would have understood what Excel macros is. You would have understood what Excel macros is. What you are seeing here, is steps. Any transformation, any cleaning. Excuse me, please. All right. Now, any transformation, any steps, any action you took here will be recorded here. Any action you took here will be recorded. So if you remove anyone, like we see here, we see the cancel icon. If we cancel anything here, the step we remove. However, when we are loading this into Excel or Power Query automatically did some actions and record it for us. It did some actions and record it for us. For example, it filtered hidden files. It invokes custom function 1. It renamed column 1. Like we can see here. Here it gives it source name, column 1, ABC Limited, that our header we designed. It renamed it, expanded the table columns. Like we saw, like we can see here, it's been expanded. And then change data type. Now change the type. However, there are certain things we need to understand. When we work with Power Query and we have certain data types like this, certain entries like this, Power Query cannot convert this to number. Whereas the entry under it is number. So this might affect us when we finish cleaning and load it to Excel. Now see what I mean. Let's head over to data cleaning and transformation without doing certain things. Let's head over to that without doing certain things. Now I will right click here. I don't need this. what will this aspect source name, I don't need it, so let me right click here, click on the source name, right click, you will see this option here, remove. If you don't want to use it, you can also come here to remove columns, anyone. So if you click on this, this is being removed. I made a mistake. I shouldn't even have cancelled this. Okay, now I'm looking for something. Always allow advanced editor. Okay, let's do the cleaning first. Now, once that is done, the top column here, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need it. I need to start from here. This is my column header. So all these are not necessary for my analysis. All these ones are not necessary for my analysis. So what I will do is I can come to home. Under home, I come to remove rows, or I right click, or I right click. Once I right click here, why is I right click, I can where is it? Okay, is remove column, remove column. Okay, I can come over to this place, go to remove rows, come to remove top rows. So once I click on remove top rows, it will bring a dialog box for me. It will bring a dialog box for me. It will now ask me specify the number of rows. Remember, I wanted to remove top rows. So I will count 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to remove this. This is my column headers. So what I will type here is 4. I will type number 4 and then hit OK. Automatically, that one is gone. The next thing I will do is to come over to this place. I need to replace these headers with what I have here. Now, instead of doing it manually is coming to double click here and then type C, let's say type C.id. Instead of doing it manually, and then I hit enter. Instead of doing that manually, what I can do here is to come over to this place. Under home, I can come over to this place where we have use first rule as headers and click on it. So once I do that, you notice automatically this takes up the column headers. Automatically this takes up the column headers, and then we have the other numbers as below. Then we need to remove null values. All these null values and all that, we need to ensure that they are removed. So I can come here, click this filter button. On this filter button, I will see all the numbers but see null. I will select this, unselect it and say OK. That one is done. Then I will come over to this customer name again, remove this and say OK. Then I will come to product name, remove null and say OK. You see these two null values are gone. When you look at this, I will also come to this and say I don't need the null value. I say OK, the null values are gone. Come to unit price. On unit price, if I have a null value, I remove it. And then I can still check down if everything is okay. I say okay. Then on transaction date, this is the date. I will come over to this place and say no, remove none, and say okay. So all the null values are filtered out. Under this quantity, everything is okay. If I come to check, the price is okay. And then if I check this one as well, is okay. All right. Now the next thing I can do is, let's take for example the format of our name. They call our company uses first name and last name. So, but this data set comes in customer name. So we can split it. Remember when we did test functions, how we use the left or right test function to separate a certain test from the other. Hence, here we can also apply those data trimming, separation, splitting, and what have you. So to do that, to remove unwanted spaces, to ensure that unwanted spaces is removed, we come to customer name, right click. Now under this right click, I will come to a transform. Now under transform, you will see the lowercase, uppercase, capitalize each word, trim, clean, length, and so on. I will click on this. I will click on trim. So once I do that, any unwanted space is being removed. Once I do that, any unwanted space is being removed. Now the next I do is to go to split. You can see this split column, or you right click and go to this split column. It takes you by delimiter, but let's use this split column. A minute, please. Okay, now you go to the aspect of split column. You will see how do you want to use. Power Query will ask you, how do you want to split the column? By delimiter, by number of characters, by position, uppercase, lowercase, uppercase, and so on and so forth. Here we will select by delimiter. Delimiter can be space, it can be comma, it can be hyphen. So we select here by delimiter. This pops up. Now you look at this, it automatically dictates what delimiter that is present in this column. The delimiter that is present here is space. So here, if you click this drop down arrow, you will see colon, you will see comma, you will see equals, you will see semicolon, you will see tab, you will see space. So automatically, the one that is present here is space. Then how do we want? We can select leftmost. Coming from here, this is the leftmost delimiter. We select this. And then we say OK. Now, once that is done, you will discover that this is now splitted into two. You see customer name 1, customer name 2. Hence, we can come here, double click, and remove this name 1 and come over to this place and call it first name. Hit enter. Come over to this place, do the same thing, remove the 2, and then remove the customer and type last name. So on that aspect, we have splitted this column. Now we have first name, we have last name. Then we have products, we have quantity, we have unit price. Now, in the unit price, we are going to change the data type. Now, one of the things I need to explain to us is that when you look at this, what you are seeing here shows number. Now look at the name. Excel automatically dictates, or Power Query dictates, that the data type here is test. If I go to this place, also it determines that is test. If I go to this place, it determines that is test. If I click on this, it will show whole number. If I click on this, it shows whole number. Now, if I click on this, it shows whole number as well. But this one is currency. So I can come here, or I change it from here. Either way. So if you click here, it will pop up these options. If you click here as well, these options will pop up. Anyone. So I'm going to click on currency. You see the data type now changes from 123 to a dollar sign. That's on that. Then we have our transaction date. We click on this, ensure we select date to be sure that that is the format of the date. Okay. Now we can add columns. We can do some transformation. Like we said, data Power Query is for data cleaning and transformation. You see a cluster data we receive. You see how we have been able to clean it and get it very cleaned that we can load it. However, this data set is showing us unit price, quantity. This is the unit price, this is the quantity sold. I can add revenue column to this in Power Query Editor. I can add revenue column to this. So how do I do that? I can click on unit price, because what is revenue? Revenue is unit price times quantity sold. Then we know how much we generated from that particular product. That's revenue. So I'm going to click on this, hold Control, and select the quantity sold. Once that is done, I will go to Add Column tab. I will click on Add Column tab. Under Add Column tab, you see on here from number. This shows that it is for anything, any column that has number in it, numerical values. We can use it for these names of products or names of customers. So here I'm going to go to Standard and click. Under Standard, I'm going to select Multiply. So once I click on Multiply, you will notice a new column appears. So what did it do? It did this times this to give us this. So here I'm going to double click here and name it revenue and hit enter. Name it revenue and hit enter. The data type is okay and what have you. Now another thing I'm going to do it in another example I'm going to show us, because if I load this in Excel, most likely it will not load. Most likely it will not load. Let me use that word. I don't like saying emphatically. Most likely it will not load. I'm already seeing a sign that it will not load. So let's now load. We have checked everything is okay. We come here, no value, no empty cell, no test. Here we don't have any null, we don't have any empty cell. We are good to go. Here the data type the same. Here we have the same as well. Everything looks okay here. Here we have this, and we go down here. Everything looks perfect as well. Here we check everything is okay. Here now, another thing that reminds me, another thing for this is that if we want this to be closer to the unit price, I can click on this, hold and drag it to this place. So it will exchange. It will exchange. This revenue will be here, transaction date will be here. So either way you can move it within the Power Query editor. Now, once we ascertain that everything is okay, we go back to home. Under home, we come to this place, click this. If you click here, it's giving you another option to close and load, or close and load to either a data model or another source. So we click on close and load. Now, automatically it will start to be coming into this place. Now, what we are seeing here is showing us the query says report was not found. It shouldn't even be in this particular data set. It shouldn't even be in this particular test. So that didn't load. I have already detected that it will not load. I have detected that already. So on that aspect, let me close this. Let me save it. Now, having seen that it didn't load, there are certain things we need to understand when working with our data sets like this. Now let's go back to this place. If you have a folder where you receive data 2020, 2021, and in this, let me use 2020 as an example. In this particular 2020 data, you see discrepancies. Some are not. This is a numerical column, but here Excel will not see this as number, because numbers are aligned to the right, while alphabet or characters or text aligns to the left. That is the way it works in Excel. So you see some of this, you see this, they are not recognized as number based on converting during Power Query automatic converting to data type. So what do you do when you receive data set from different sources? Please, you are getting data from a website, you are getting data from a database, from Access, or even a data you have from you receive and then sent to your data set, to your folder, like we have in this particular folder. There is something you need to do so as to avoid the challenges you most likely will face. So what is that you have to do? Let's do that again. Let's go to get data from file. Let's go to folder. Now this pops up, is in my desktop, and then this on my reports. I click open. Now once I click open, this shows up. Remember, we go to combine and transform. So once we click combine and transform, it will bring us to another dialog box. It will load us to another dialog box, which let's exercise patience for it to load. All right, here we are. We leave it in first file. We can select sales report to ensure that that's the data set we are working on, and then we say okay. Now here we wait for it to load in the Power Query editor window. All right, it's still loading. Now, we notice here we see sales report 2, because automatically Power Query dictates this particular folder again. Now here I'm going to delete this 2 and let's say put 1 for example. Let that be the name. And now please pay attention. Before you go ahead to apply any transformation, come over to these applied steps. If you have this challenge, most likely you will have this challenge most likely when you are loading more than one data set, more than one worksheet. Like we loaded 2021 worksheet and 2020 worksheet and 2021 worksheet, or 2020 workbook and 2021 workbook. We loaded 2. If we load 2, 3, 4, 5, you most likely will have this challenge. Don't assume that the data is okay. Don't assume that your data set is okay. When you load and these things happen, you will see source, filtered, invoke, rename, removed, expand, changed. This Excel does not automatically change it effectively. So what you do is you come over to this place, cancel this change so as to remove it from the query. Cancel it. You are the one to apply the changes yourself. Note that, very, very important. If you didn't do this, you most likely will have a challenge when loading your data set. You most likely will have a challenge when loading your cleaned data. After you have applied the cleaning and transformation and you want to load, in most cases it will not load. It will tell you some errors. It will tell you we couldn't convert some column to number and stuff like that. So what you do is, first you come here, you cancel this. You cancel this step. Did I cancel something twice? Okay, that's by the way. So you cancel these steps. So once you cancel it, you can now start applying. You can now start applying your transformation, your cleaning, and all the rest. So let's proceed to the things we did earlier. Here, I don't need this. I can remove. Right click, remove. This is done. Automatically, it shows me what I did. It will display it here. I removed column. Now, if I don't want, maybe I made a mistake and removed the wrong column. I removed the wrong column. I don't want to remove that column. I can come back here and cancel it. If I cancel it, that comes back. So, but here I want to remove it. So let me right click and remove it. All right. Then the next thing I want to do, like we did previously, is to remove these top rows. They are not important in my analysis. I go to remove rows and then remove top rows. It will pop up a dialog box. So once this comes up, you count the number of rows you want to remove from the top. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. Here I need these ones. So I will come here and type 4 and say OK. Those ones are gone. Now it records it. I have removed column. I have removed rows. Now the next thing I want to do is to, like we did earlier, to bring these things, these column headers to be the main column headers. Like I said, instead of typing it manually, you can use this. Use first rows as headers. You click on it. It will move them up. Now, once it moves them up, this guy will come up again. Change type. What do? You cancel it. Cancel it. Ensure you do that. Now, when you cancel it, you come over to this place. when you come over to this place, you can see there is one dark color here. Each of them have that dark color. It's showing you that place is showing you some details. When you hover on it, you will see details. It will show us, it says 996 data is valid. Error, 0 error. Empty, we have 4. So to remove it, to ensure that this empty is gone, we come over to this filter button. Now on this filter button, that empty is this null. When we scroll down, we see this as well. CID, we uncheck it and remove this. Once that is done, you say okay. So you notice that dark stuff is gone. It's showing us that everything now is valid. We have 1,000, all valid. Everything is okay. Then what is the data type for this? What is the data type for this? This is number. And if you look at it here, the data type here says any. That means it can take anyone. However, we will come here, apply number, whole number to it. That's the data type here. Then we come over to this place, over again. It shows us that we have 953 valid, and then we have 47 empty. So what do? We also come over to this place, right click, we scroll down. Once we scroll down, we check the customer name, anything here, wherever we check, let's check for C. If the customer name is embedded in the C, we are looking for you, okay, cookies, this, nothing like that. So we scroll up and remove this null, and we say okay. So we have filter. Now anytime we filter role, it shows us filter role, change data type. Now we have filtered it, this is okay. We can come to this place, click on it. What is the data type for this? Is test. We select test. That is done. The same way we come over to this, it shows us the same report. 954, 46 empty. Then error 0. And remember, I said you don't run analysis on empty column or empty column, empty cells, and what have you. So what do? We come to this filter button as well. Come to the filter button and remove this and say okay. That is being removed. Come to this data type, also select your data type, which is test. Beautiful. We are getting there. Then the same here, it shows us we have, if you hover here, it will show what you have. 956 valid of the top 1,000. It's showing based on the top 1,000 valid. Then here we filter, we remove the null because we don't need it. Remove the null. Once we do that, and then we say okay. All right. Then the next thing, remember this says any, so this can be. Hence, based on this, we change it to number, change the data type to whole number. All right, we are getting there. Then unit price, the same thing we are going to do here. If you hover over this tick line below, it shows you your report as well. Let's go to this filter and remove this null. Let's scroll down and see if there is any other stuff. Nothing. And we go up again and we say okay. That is done. And hence here we apply currency as our data type already is recorded what we did. Okay, then the same thing to date. On this particular date, we also need to filter, remove the empty cells, the null values. We don't run analysis on that. And then we say, you see this kind of date and all that. We say, okay. Hence, the next thing we do is to come to our data type and select dates. All right, we have changed data type. Now, something is showing me here a kind of error, and it's showing me 1 less than 1% error. We can now click on remove error. Now that error is removed. How do I know that there is an error there? If I cancel this, please go with me. If I cancel the error that I removed, if I cancel it, you notice underneath this place, if you look properly, all this place has green. It's only here that I'm seeing a kind of red sign, red and a slash. If you are walking along with me, you will notice that as well. If you are walking along with me, you will notice that as well. So this red is showing me that something might be wrong with this data. There might be an error in date or whatever in this data. So when you hover on it, it will show you transaction date 1. That's less than 1% error. So you can remove that error. You click on it. That error is gone. That error is removed. So everything is okay. Now we can come over to this customer name and split it. We need it to be splitted. So that's by the delimiter. I want to space is what the delimiter there. I'm selecting leftmost. Leftmost is here. And then I say okay. That is being splitted. I can come over to this place and then change the name. First name, enter. Come over to this, change the name as well. Now, why Power Query is very beautiful is that some of these things, you are not applying any formula on them. You are not writing any formula on it and what have you. No, you are just clicking, applying functions, applying, clicking, and all that. Now, the next we are going to do is to add column. So we click on this, hold control, select this, go to add column. Under add column, you come to standard and you select multiply. Automatically, a cell in Power Query will show that we inserted a multiplication column. Now here, I will double click and put revenue. I explained that in the previous one. Hit enter. Now, let's take, for example, I want to apply some conditions. I want to add another column here that will show me maybe if we have revenue greater than 50 or revenue less than 100. Let's say revenue less than 100,000, that is poor. Revenue that is less than, let's say less than 500,000, average. The one that is higher than 500,000, excellent. Let's say stuff like that. We want to apply that condition. So to do that, we select this revenue, go to conditional column. Under add column, you will see this conditional column, and then you click on it. Once you click on it, I'm teaching this from scratch. I'm teaching it from scratch. Now, we can look at this place and call it revenue status. Now, what's the aspect we are talking about here is revenue. Now, if the revenue is less than or equals to, so we can say less than or equals to what? If it's less than or equals to 100,000, what output do we want? We want output low revenue. Let's say that low revenue. Then we need another condition. So we click on add clause. So once this, if this is not, you want average revenue. Then if not, we want excellent. Revenue, for example. Now, once we are okay, what we have here is a conditional column. We are adding a conditional column. If the revenue is less than or equals to 100, return low revenue. If it's less than or equals to 500,000, return average. If not, any other thing, give me excellent revenue. So I will click OK here. Now, it will automatically dictate that I added conditional column. I didn't, here he said I inserted multiplication. Here I said now when you look at it, this is above 1 million, this is above 500,000 rather, is giving me excellent, this is average, you see low, you see excellent here, and what have you. Now, if I'm okay with this, I can come here and change the data type to text. I'm okay with this. The next thing I can do is I can click on this and click on this, hold control and move them to this place, so as to rearrange them like this. Okay, this one I need it to be here. Okay, now revenue status, transaction date. Now all these, they are okay. I'm good for this. This is okay. Also, this one is okay. Nothing is missing, no error, and what have you. Now, so I check all this. I can collapse this so that I have more space to see more of my data. So once I looked at it, if peradventure we want this to be in capital letter, let's say our manager wants all this to be in capital letter, what we can do is we click here, right click, come to transform and select uppercase. So once we select uppercase, this is in capital, then click here, hold control, hold this, right click, go to transform and select uppercase. You see that both of them are now in uppercase. Let's say this is the way our company wants it to be, that it should be in cap letter and what have you. I'm just showing us different stuffs we can do on as regards to Power Query. Once we are ready, once we know that we are ready, our data set is ready, we are ready, everything is okay, we have cleaned it, we go to home and then click on close and load. As we can see here, we click on close and load. Now, is loading into the Excel sheet, is loading into the Excel sheet, and boom, we have what we have here, a cleaned data, a cleaned data. That's what we have here, a cleaned data. the previous one that we wanted to load, sales report that we wanted to load, failed. As we can see, it didn't load. Why? Because of what I told us to always do. That's why this, we're able to load it. Now look at this. Look at this. It shows us that what we loaded is 1090 rows loaded. Now when you hover on it, it brings you to your information. It shows you the data you worked on, the column headers, the last refresh, load status, loaded to worksheet, the data source. It shows you where the data, you got the data from. It shows you where you got the data from. So what does this mean? This entails that, remember, we loaded 2 worksheets. So if you click on transaction date, you will see those 2 workbooks you loaded, 2020 and 2021, right on the same workbook, which is sales report, right on the same workbook. Now here we can go ahead. This table design, this query. We can go ahead here and insert a pivot table. We can go to insert a pivot table here, new worksheet, and then I say, okay, do some analysis based on what we have. I can analyze this based on, let's say we analyze based on product, and then we check our revenue. Now, having this, I can now come over to this, and then let me remove the grand total. Let me remove the grand total. I can apply this on it, go to pivot, analyze. I can now insert a pivot chart. On this pivot chart, I can, let's say, if we check a line chart, it shows us how the movement is a zigzag movement, or a, how will I put it now? A zigzag movement. Let me put it down. Let me call it that. A zigzag movement. If you come to pie chart, bar chart, column chart, and what have you. Now, let's take, for example, we use the column chart, for example, and then there are 3D column charts, different stocked one, there are different of them. Let's say we select this, or we select this, no? Okay, let me use this one, this 2D format. Let's say we select this and we say okay. Now we have applied this. Let me delete this. Let me right click. Let me right click here and hide all field button. Okay, I don't need this. We are going to get to this thing when we talk, when we go into data visualization. We are going to get into some of these things. Let me remove my grid lines. Now under the chart design, I can go to the design and select any of these, Let's say I select this, and I don't like having this in my, and also I don't like having grid lines. We can look at certain color we want, depending on your choice. Depending on your choice, let's say we select this, your choice anyway. Now we have this prepared. Hence, let's say we do some analysis. We get to know total revenues generated by chair, decks, different years, and what have you. We get to know those stores, revenue generated by them. The next is this. This is the main data set. Let me close this. This is the main data set. This is our pivot. we can do other analysis on that. However, let's take for example, we have this here. Let's take for example, we now receive 2022 data. We receive 2022 data inside our folder. Let me minimize this. Let's say we receive 2022 data inside our folder. Now we have this 2022. I also have a data 2023. Now let me move this 2022 data set into this folder. Now automatically we now have 2020, 2021, and 2022. Okay, now once that is done, let me close it and let's go back to our worksheet. This is the one we worked on. Remember the transaction date 2021 and 2020. Hence, once we got a new data, we don't need to take it to Power Query again to clean and then load together with this one. No, we don't need to do that process again, combine, clean, and what have you. Immediately we receive that data in that particular folder. Power Query will apply that same step of cleaning that gives us this to that particular folder and join it, combine it with this one. So what do? We just need to go to Power Query and come to refresh and click on refresh. So once we click on refresh, now watch what your chart is. When you come to this and then you refresh, what do you notice? You notice an increase here. There is an increase both in the numbers and what have you. Now let's get back to this place. If we now come to transaction dates, you notice that 2020 is now added. You don't need to do any further cleaning. If you receive another data 2023 inside that folder, the same kind of data, remember the data has to come on under the same format. You don't have to have maybe this one is 20 rows, the other one 20 columns, the other one is 15. It's the same format of data, but different entries, different sales. But we have CID, this, the same format of data, but different entries that we need to clean and get ready like this. So once that data enters in the folder, in this folder, in the folder where you have the other folders, because in Power Query, if we come over to this place and we come here to look at the properties, you see the name is sales report. Automatically is known, that folder is known to be sales report, and then the connection has been established. The connection has already been established. So we don't need to begin to clean that data again. All right, let's go back, open this. Now let's open this and then receive our 2023 data. Let's carry this and move it into this place. Remember, this is the folder, sales report folder, that we used when we did Power Query cleaning, combine this one and this one. So once you receive this, automatically Power Query will combine the three together, do the cleaning and load within seconds. Within split of seconds, once you refresh, everything is done. Within seconds, microseconds. Hence, we have received 2023 sales report. We don't need to do cleaning again. Those repetitive tasks is gone. And Power Query can automate it and do it again for us. The only thing we need to do, remember here, you have now 2020, 21, 22. All right. The only thing we need to now come over to this place, go to query and come to refresh, or you come here, right click. When you right click, you come to refresh. So once you refresh, everything is done. So if we now come to our transaction date, which shows the number of dates we are now working with, 2023 is added. Now, remember what we loaded was 1090 or something like that. If we go down, you will notice we are now in 1900 and something, because we loaded 2 data sets now. Hence, if we go to our pivot table and then right click and refresh, watch what will happen to this bar, this column chart. Watch what will happen to them when I refresh. Now, if I refresh, you notice there is a change in each of them. So that way, you don't need to be redoing things again, do the analysis again and whatever. If you use that data set in order to prepare your dashboard and what have you, once you refresh your dashboard, everything will update. Everything. When we get into data visualization, we are going to be doing a project from scratch, getting raw data, clean it, apply everything stuff, do the dashboard visualization, and then load another data and see. When we refresh it, we see what happens. So that is the beauty of Power Query. That is the beauty of Power Query. That is the beauty of Power Query. Now, another stuff I'm going to teach us this night before we wrap up tonight's session in Power Query is this. Let me see if I can open another. Okay, let me see if there is a data here for me to use. There is something else. There is something else I want to show us. Okay. Okay, I can use this. Let me remove this, delete it, remove field. Let me come here, format, no, format, clear format. Okay. Now, let's say I want to load this data set. I want to clean this data set. It looks kind of clean, but stuff, we don't analyze data having all these headers. No, we analyze data only all this here. So let's say I want to clean it. To do that, I go to data. Now, instead of saying get data, what I want, the data I want to clean is already existing on this particular sheet. What do? I will click here. I will say from table/range. I will click on this place. So it will load that to my Power Query. You see it loads it into Power Query. Automatically it does some stuff, remove those headers for me and do some editing of data types, numbers and stuff like that. This is date and time. What you can see here is date and time. So here I can come here and select only dates. Yes, I want to replace. It will give me only date. This one, I'm okay. Whole number, the zip number, unit, I'm okay. Here, the selling price per unit, I want it in currency. It will ask me, do you want to replace? Yes, I want to replace it to this revenue. I want to replace it. This one here, currency. These ones are okay in data type. These ones are okay in data type. If you want to separate the numbers, you want to separate the numbers from this particular one, have it, maybe call it product number or whatever, you use split. Now let me do that. Here you go to select split column by delimiter. Here it will pop up, there will be a pop-up that will show we have space. But what I want to split is not space, it's not the delimiter that I want to split. So I can use a custom. Now in that custom, the delimiter I'm using to split is this. So whatever you see is that each occurrence of that is each occurrence of the delimiter. So each of the occurrence of the delimiter, I will say okay. It's still rolling. I don't know why this is. Okay. Now it's already done. You see that by that delimiter, it has separated this to this. So here I can maybe call it product number. I can say product number, for example, though it's not necessary for me, but I can say product number. Then here I can maybe say product code. I'm just giving it any name. I can say product code or whatever. So why I did that, so that you see how you can split. It's not only space. If it's comma, you just put that comma as your delimiter in order to separate a particular column you want to separate, and then rename it. Now you have selling price per unit, you have revenue, you have region whatsoever, and that you can apply other things that we did in the previous one, and then you load. Once you say close and load, you close and load. Of course, you can now see automatically it loads. It now shows us we loaded 5,630 rows loaded. Now the data source, there are no data source for this query. Why? Because it's from the table range, it's from the table. If you got it from the folder, it will show you the source of that folder. Okay, now that is how you can load your work from, if you want to clean a data and there, or this particular data, or this one you want to clean it, you can do that right from here by going to data and then say from table slash range, it will load this existing one. All right, this becomes our clean data. That becomes our clean data ready for analysis. Now, another one I'm going to show us, which I'm going to use to wrap up this nice section, is how you can get your data from a website. Maybe you are doing a research and there is a data you need for your analysis, and that data is from a particular website. You get that from a particular website and what have you. Okay. Now, for example, you want to get your web data from a website. Let me open a new sheet, or let me open a new workbook. Control N. Let me open a fresh workbook. Okay. Now, if I want to get data from a website, maybe the data I need is from a particular website, our company website, and need data from there. I can get it. The school website, the NYSC website has certain data that we need to run analysis. We can get the data from the website. It seems my network is fluctuating. Okay, now go to data. You will see from where. Another thing here is you can also come to get data from other source. You can also see from where. You can see from the same table slash range and other sources. Also, you can get a data from the cloud if you are connected to the cloud, like the Azure database. From the cloud, you can also get your data from a database, SQL database, Microsoft Access database, MySQL, IBM, Oracle, different database, relational database. However, this we can go through other source from the web, or you go through this particular area. So let's take, for example, I click from web. Now it will pop up this, the URL. Now for the URL, you need to go to that website. You have the URL, the website you are getting the data from. And that page, that exact